It's Friday. We are very nearly at half term. Well done. You've been doing so well, and I've so enjoyed looking at all your work. So today we are focusing on proofreading and editing, which is where you can make a really big difference to the quality of your work. So I've just got on the screen for you here the success criteria. So I'm just going to run you through that quickly, because when we're proofreading and editing, this is very much what we've got in our mind. So we are thinking about using a good range of conjunctions to join sentences and begin sentences, using commas correctly after fronted adverbials and subordinate clauses at the start of a sentence, powerful vocabulary and structure. So we're going to be looking for those things, but we're also going to be proofreading, and we're going to do the proofreading first. The proofreading is basically where we're making sure as many of our spellings as we can, as is possible, are correct, and that we haven't missed any words out, and that basically makes sense. So I'm just going to show you how we can do that now. So if we, I'll just get up for you the screen here. So this is what I wrote. Now, the first thing I would do when I'm proofreading is I would read my work aloud, okay? Because when I'm reading it aloud, it's forcing me to slow down, and it also means that I can hear what I'm saying. So if it sounds wrong, I might need to go and check it. So that's what you need to do first, is read your work out loud, check there's no missing word, check it makes sense, and that you've used the correct tense. You're not switching between too many. Okay, that's job number one. So pause and do that now. Okay, job number two is you're going to check spellings. Okay, now a really good way to do this, which we haven't talked about before, but is to read your work backwards. Okay, because if you're reading your work backwards, say from the bottom all the way back to the beginning, you're focusing on the actual words themselves rather than the whole sentence. So you can't read what you think is there. So read it backwards. Go back. If you get to a word you're not sure of, check it. You could check it with an online dictionary. You can check it with somebody at home. Okay, so that's job number two. So you need to do that one now. So pause the video, go back, reread your work backwards, have a look at which things you might have spelt wrongly, or you might need to go and check. Okay, job number three, we are going to be thinking about conjunctions. So for this, I would have my fanboys poster that I made for myself and my I saw a wabber poster in front of me. Just have a quick refresh. Which of those words? Can you skim and scan your work, skim and scan rather, your work and find some examples of those? So I'm skimming and scanning my work now, and I can see that actually I've only used one here, when, and another one there, when. So I might need to think about how I could go back and put some conjunctions. Oh, I've just spotted another one there, and another one there, and, but they're quite basic. So I might want to think about, could I go back and perhaps add so or yet to a sentence and add a sentence in there? So job number three, excuse me, go back. You might want to use a little highlighter or a pencil here. Underline any of the conjunctions that you have used. And if you can't see very many, then you need to think about, where could you put one in? Where would it fit? So if you haven't got very many conjunctions, I want you to choose two sentences to go and add a conjunction to. So that's your next job. So pause the video, you know what to do. Go and look for those conjunctions, and if you haven't got any, find a couple of sentences to add some to. And for next challenge, Can you try putting one at the beginning of the sentence? Okay, job number 4, we are going to be checking that if we've used a subordinate conjunction or a fronted adverbial, we've got a comma. So I'm going to look at my first sentence here. 1,000 miles ago. Oh, yes. That is a fronted adverbial there because it tells me how or where or when something happened. So I have a comma there. So check. Well done, Mrs. Chahota. And then I can see here, when it was cold. Again, that's a fronted adverbial. And look, I'm a good girl. I've remembered my comma. But you might not have done. So go back and check that now. If you've got fronted adverbials or a subordinate conjunction at the beginning, have you used a comma? Okay, and lastly, as part of today's lesson, we're going to be thinking about our vocabulary. So your job now is again to go back through your work, and you might want to take a colour or a highlighter and think, is there any vocabulary, any language that you have used that you are particularly proud of and you think is good? So I'm going to look at this one here, slithered. I think that's a good one. It's a verb and it really describes how the firework is moving moving. And I like this, frostbitten. I think that's very good. Okay, so go through and find where you've used some really powerful vocabulary. So pause the video. Okay, hopefully you were able to find some really good examples of where you've used some fantastic vocabulary. But if you think, actually, I've not got that much vocabulary that's really powerful and descriptive, now's your chance to go back and focus on that. So if I were you, I would just choose 3 or 4 words that you think actually you could improve on. Okay, so here we go. Where could we go? Right, here. So another one that he was rather proud of was called the Silver Snow Attack. I do like the name of that firework. It was as bright as stars. I think that we could do something with that sentence there because it's quite short, it's quite basic. I wonder if we could up-level some of the vocabulary in there. Maybe I could change this somehow. So I would, that's the word I want to change. So I'm going to perhaps draw a wiggly line under it or highlight it. And I'm going to have the online thesaurus or a thesaurus at home. And I'm going to look for some alternatives there. Okay, so choose 3 or 4 words in your own writing that you think you could improve even more and get a thesaurus out or chat to an adult and see if you can make those words even better. Okay, and then the final part is to now reread your improved and edited work and feel rather proud of your efforts. Upload it to Tapestry for us to have a look at and then sit back and relax.